one championship is suing one of, if not their biggest star. I think you can make a case for that, as well as a case for him being the face of the company, Rodtang Jitmungnon, for repeated breaches of contract, which are misleading information and defamatory statements in Singapore, Japan, and Thailand. Now, the Thailand amount has been announced, what they're seeking, and that is 540 million baht, or about 17 million US dollars. The other two countries haven't been announced and what they're seeking for. That's gonna come later. Gonna come later. So it's gonna get expensive for our boy Rodtang here. And I just find this whole situation just kind of very scummy, very dirty, very nasty, very, very wrong, messed up, especially with the timing that it was done on. But before I get into why this all happened, what all led to this, and everything, even though most people watching this, I have a feeling know who he is, I do want to just give a quick kind of overview on him and the company. So in case anyone who doesn't know who's watching this can kind of get a quick understanding on both parties involved. Rodtang, he's a Muay Thai fighter, former one flyweight Muay Thai champion. He's done a couple kickboxing fights in and out of one, but primarily a Muay Thai fighter. He rose to prominence in 2019 when he fought Haggerty for the one flyweight Muay Thai title and won. And then for their rematch in 2020 for the title, which he won. And then when he fought on a fight card that one held on TNT, that was his exposure to American audiences who didn't watch one before that, and his just dominating and very kind of reckless style won over the audiences. But what really kind of put him in the stratosphere was his mixed rules fight with Mighty Mouse, where in the first round, which was a Muay Thai round, he nearly won, and then the second round, which he lost by rear naked choke, was an MMA round. He actually kind of held his own and just defended a takedown until, Mighty Mouse just did what he did, because he was just better in that regard. But that helped win over even more fans. And then it's a combat sports organization where they hold Muay Thai fights, which is kind of their bread and butter, what most people like to watch them for and everything. And then I would say kickboxing fights is second, Muay Thai is third, and then the least one that people care about is a submission grappling. And they're one of, if not the biggest promotion in Asia. So with that kind of being the background of those people, now I'm going to kind of get into how we got here, what all led to this, and this insanity that has transpired for this fighter. It starts in earlier this year, after it looked like everything was good with him. They announced that there was going to be a rematch between Rodtang and Takaru on their new event that they were going to be doing monthly, One Samurai, with the fights being held in Japan. It was after that he went on social media and said, "Hey, I'm a free agent. I'm no longer under contract with one, so you guys can approach me if you want. That's fine." Then come later on after that, one didn't say anything after that. We go to the press conference for One Samurai. He was asked about it, and he doubled down and said, "This is a one-off. I've been approached by some other organizations, by other promotions, but I just haven't signed anything or anything of that right now. I'm just worried about this and concentrated on this fight with Takaru." Well, it was after that the Bangkok Post, my bad, put out an article saying from their sources within one, saying no, he's not he's not a free agent. He is under contract. But even if he wasn't under contract for some odd reason, we would have a 12-month matching window. And that's what kind of sent this whole thing just snowballing, just plummeting fast to the ground in, flames. Oh, he came out after that, Rodtang did, and said, "No, I only signed one piece of paper, and it was in English. It wasn't even Thai. It was in English. I signed one piece of paper. However, somehow there is, 30 documents with my signature on. On top of that, and I only signed one piece of paper. And there was, in some reports, there'd been saying that his legal team found the guy, and the guy admitted to him forging the signatures. And it was after that when he came out and said, I only signed one single paper, and I did it in good faith, that actually there was 30 pages of documents that had my signature on them that I didn't. And like I said, some reports say that his legal team found the guy and the guy copped to it. And so that's what led this lawsuit. Here's what they said. I got it pulled up, so I'm going to read it so you can know what they said. They said, one would like to clarify clearly and transparently to sports fans, our athletes, and partners. Currently, we have started legal action in Singapore, Japan, and Thailand against Tank due to repeated violations of its contractual obligations to one. We have a strict policy against breach of contract, including providing misleading information and displaying defamatory comments. Past, we have made continuous and sincere efforts to work with Tank in good faith. Moreover, when contractual obligations are repeatedly ignored, it is necessary for us to take appropriate and decisive action for the benefit of all stakeholders in the one ecosystem. The investigation process is currently ongoing, and we will continue to coordinate closely with the relevant authorities in each country in ordinance with legal procedures. Legal action has begun. It is intended to make a reasonable claim for damages in the country concerned. In the meantime, one reserves to comment further on the details of the legal process. So when that came out, kind of then Rodtang's response, and I'll read his response to you, was this. I signed a contract in 2021. I asked to see the contract and only received it in November 2025. I can't even read English, and now they're going to sue me. Does fairness really still exist? They said we were like brothers. And when you've actually seen stuff in past, like photos of Rodtang and Chatri, which is their CEO, they're like Dana White, won championships. They're hung in, they're having a good time and everything. So the way I look at the situation is, I think one thing that you could kind of say might be a little telling is they don't straight out just say, nope, what he's saying is a lie. It's false information. We did not forge his signature, or no one within our organization forged his signature. Those documents he signed were 100% by him, no one else. You don't see any of that. The only thing you see that's kind of vaguely close to something like that, that's something, a little bit of pushback, would be the whole misleading information and defamatory statements. That maybe you could link. But what's funny is they have legal teams who write this stuff, who draft it up, and make sure that they're doing their legalese, as people call it, to make sure that they're saying what is right. So the fact that they didn't straight out come and specify that, hey, this is and that is what he's saying is completely lies, that it makes no sense, that it's completely wrong and stuff. That's not what they said. And so it makes me wonder if there's some truth to it. There is some validity to his comments. Don't know. There may be none, but it does leave the question for that. And I just think it's scummy. And what makes it worse is when they filed it, it was literally 2 weeks from his fight with Takeru. So here you're doing it in the middle of a fight camp, and this guy's focusing on getting ready for his fight, and you do it. And what's funny is Chatri always would talk down on Dana One and the UFC and kind of talk crap about him, And it's almost like he wanted to one up to Dana White with this. And you can talk what you want about the UFC, and I think anyone who knows the fight game, understands it, has looked into even the financials of it, know that fighters don't get paid enough. They don't. It's what they get is especially compared to other sports, is not even there, and then they don't even get the having health care, having a pension the way the other leagues do. So, fighters already get rough, and if you were to, do something like this in the UFC, what would happen is Dana White would go on. Either he just would cut you, or he wouldn't resign you, or if he did, it would be for the same deal you previously had. You wouldn't get any more money. And maybe if he was on your way out, he would just sandbag you just by giving you, competition that just doesn't work, doesn't give you the best chance to win. So he would do that stuff, but to actually sue him and say it's, because of misleading information or defamatory statements. And even when you go back to what they first said in their first response, which was, well, he's still under contract, but even if he wasn't, we would have a 12-month matching on any offer he got. It's kind of like, really? Oh, really? So you're even saying if he is, it don't matter, you can still match him. And so just doing it now, always I think it's scummy to sue someone. And what makes it worse is he's got that fight, and from everything that's looking, he's still fighting. I mean, he showed a picture of him doing some, or it might have been a video, of him doing some strength and conditioning. I think it was a video of him doing some sparring at his gym, as well as a video with his nutritionist. So what makes it even worse is they're doing it and they're not pulling the fight because they need him for the fight. They need for him to get the tickets sold so they can get the money. So they need him there. So not even pulling him from the fight. They're keeping him on. And like I said, if you look at, that was one big thing about all this. Would the fight stay, or would they pull it? And right now, when you could look on his social media, he was still doing video. He did a video of strength and conditioning, did a video of sparring, took a picture with his nutritionist. So it looks like the fight's on. So to not just sue him, which I think is just grimy, to then follow the suit up with, hey, you're still going to fight in the main event for us and make that money. And even if you do pay him, you're looking to sue him so you can get that money back anyways. And just doing it in a fight camp, it's just grimy. And now I did see a couple reports, I think it was like yesterday, that was saying that, hey, this is going to be his last fight. So it even makes it worse that not only going to sue him, but then you're going to kick him out and have it be his final fight. And then, he's 28, but he's in the prime of his life when it comes to the fight game. So if this drags on and he can't fight anywhere, and now you're trying to drain him, he's got his family that relies on him. So it's just very crummy. And I think what's really motivating one to do it and why they haven't kicked him off was money. I mean, there's people who've looked in the finances. I showed, I think it was like 2024, where they made nearly $100 million. They still lost nearly $50 million. It was like they made like 94 million, not 49, 94 million. And they still end up losing like 47 million. It was something like that, where it was just, and it seems like all of their investors, all that money's been gone, and that they're only staying afloat because of cash injections from One Group Holdings, which is the parent company. So it just looks like that's, and you've seen them putting on more pay-per-views, as far as like this one Samurai's pay-per-view, do these inner circle fights, which are a monthly subscription of, I can't remember what it is, like $15, something like that. It might be more, I can't remember, but they're doing that where They used to have the Friday fights, which is every week on YouTube, the whole thing for free. Now you're only getting some of it, and they're putting championship fights behind that. Um, behind that, so you gotta pay for it. There's been conversations if one is gonna renew their deal. So I think they're hurt for there's a very real chance, very real possibility they could be hurting for money. And this is kind of why they're going after Rodtang, but they, like I said, still have a fight. So it's just very grimy, very just nasty situation, very messed up in my mind that they're doing this to Rodtang, and that yeah, I just think they shouldn't be. So I just I hope Rodtang they make a deal, and either he goes back with them, and that might be the best for both parties, or if somehow he's able to get some massive deal from K1, like Rico Hooven. I think I might have his name wrong, but the heavyweight champion in Glory that left. Like, dang it, I think when I said K1, I meant Glory. But unless he can get something from Glory, maybe going back to one might be his best chance to make the money to support his family. So yeah, that's kind of how it all happened. It's very just I just find it very nasty, and kind of lost my respect for one and everything. But that's kind of the rundown. That's what's happening. So I just wanted to get on here and tell my thoughts about how I just don't like it, don't enjoy it, think it's very bad business, and then to have them, especially the whole you taking it nearly more than 3 years to get a contract. You should get it within a couple days, a week, not 3 years. And that makes it look like they're trying to hide something more, just trying to really make sure he didn't see it so that he wouldn't know. He would, excuse me, he wouldn't know that there was more documents in there that there was, and kind of maybe I think give some credence to his excuse me, his argument maybe. So this is going to be a very interesting thing to kind of watch, keep an eye on, see what happens. But yeah, just very much kind of sad to see, very kind of nasty. But anyone who's watched Fight Game long enough knows that it ain't a good time for fighters. It don't look good. They kind of get, no matter where you are, what organization you are in, you always kind of get the short end of the stick. That is, fighters, and especially MMA fighters, get it because of they're already getting crappy pay. You're hoping you can bank on your name in some form, and you just don't get paid the same way as boxers. I think boxers might be able to bank on their name a little bit more, a little bit easier. So, just want to get my thoughts on this whole situation, how I don't like it. I definitely think I wish it wouldn't have been done like this when it happened, but and just you've heard other people who came from one talk about one, they don't say good things. I know someone who fought for one, didn't say good things. So that's all I got to say about it. That's it for me here. Work hard, train hard, have fun, y'all. Peace.